The capital city of Viridian Prime shone like a jewel in the dark expanse of space. Towering spires of crystal and metal reached toward the sky, reflecting the light of 3 suns. Below, the streets were alive with citizens of all kinds, moving in patterns dictated by centuries of tradition. The Viridian Empire had rules, strict and unwavering, and at the center of it all lived Princess Lysera. She was young, radiant, and clever, a being shaped by duty and expectation. But beneath her polished appearance was a restless heart, one that yearned for freedom, for a life where she could make her own choices. From a young age, Lysera had been trained to be the perfect princess. She learned diplomacy, strategy, and the intricate dance of court politics. Every movement, every word, every glance was calculated, yet she often felt trapped. She looked at the stars outside her palace window and wondered what lay beyond the strict walls of her world. Her people admired her, but she often wondered if anyone truly saw her. Meanwhile, on the outskirts of the empire, a human soldier named Marcus was caught in the midst of a skirmish. Humans were known across the galaxy as resilient, daring, and unpredictable, a species both admired and underestimated. Marcus had been sent on a peacekeeping mission, but the conflict had escalated quickly. The Viridian forces, swift and disciplined, had captured him, thinking him no threat. Yet Marcus's calm and unyielding presence unsettled even the most seasoned officers. He was brought before Princess Lysera as a curiosity. She observed him silently at first, noting the confidence in his posture, the steady gaze in his eyes, and the way he refused to bow in fear. The court whispered that he was a human soldier, but Lysera saw something more. A spark of courage, a mind unclouded by rigid protocol. In him, she sensed a freedom she had never known. "I will not resist if you intend to treat me fairly," Marcus said, his voice steady and clear. "I follow orders, but I am not a prisoner in spirit." Lysera tilted her head, intrigued. Few dared to speak to her without the weight of fear. He was unlike anyone she had met in her lifetime of palace training. Something in her stirred, a mixture of curiosity and admiration. Before she could probe further, chaos erupted. The palace alarms rang across the spires as enemy forces infiltrated the capital. Rival factions sought to seize control of the empire, taking advantage of the distraction of a small but devastating uprising. Guards rushed past, shouting orders, and the air was thick with tension. Lysera's heart pounded. For the first time, the walls that had kept her life so controlled seemed meaningless. She glanced at Marcus. The human had already assessed the situation, calculating risks and opportunities with uncanny speed. Without a word, he moved toward her, offering a steady hand. "If you come with me, we can escape," he said. "It's dangerous, but it's your best chance." Lysera hesitated. Every instinct screamed that escape was impossible, that her duty demanded she remain. Yet something inside her, a longing for choice, for freedom, pushed her forward. She reached out and took his hand. At that moment, the line between princess and prisoner blurred. They navigated the labyrinthine corridors of the palace together, evading soldiers loyal to the coup and guards loyal to the royal family. Marcus's human ingenuity complemented Lysera's intimate knowledge of the palace's hidden paths. Together they moved as if in a silent dance, balancing speed with caution. "Why are you helping me?" Lysera asked quietly as they ducked into a maintenance tunnel lined with dim lights. Marcus shrugged. "I believe in freedom," he said simply. "And I believe you deserve a choice. I also don't like being trapped." His honesty struck her. In the palace, everyone spoke in layers of diplomacy and deception. Here in this tunnel, he spoke plainly. Lysera felt a rare spark of trust forming, fragile but real. The duo emerged onto a lower platform where a stolen starship waited. Marcus had commandeered it earlier, preparing for a potential escape he had hoped would never be needed. Lysera's eyes widened as she took in the sleek vessel. It was nothing like the ornate ships of her world. It was raw, functional, and fast. As they launched into the vastness of space, the city below shrank into a glittering memory. The alarms still rang in the distance, but for now they were free. Yet freedom brought new challenges. The galaxy was not kind to fugitives, especially when one was a princess of the powerful Viridian Empire and the other a human soldier. During the flight, they shared their first real conversation. Lysera spoke of her life in the palace, the expectations, the suffocating traditions. Marcus listened, offering insights from a human perspective. He told her stories of Earth, of humans who fought, laughed, and sometimes failed but never gave up. Lysera found herself laughing at his stories, something she had not done in years. Hours passed, or perhaps days. The concept of time seemed meaningless as they traveled through the star-strewn void. They took turns piloting the ship, sharing rations and finding solace in each other's company. A bond formed that neither had expected. Marcus admired Lysera's intelligence and courage, while Lysera admired Marcus's bravery and unwavering spirit. Yet, danger was never far away. Scanners picked up approaching patrol ships from the Empire. Marcus, always the strategist, guided the starship through asteroid fields and debris clouds, using every skill he had learned as a soldier. Lysera assisted, her knowledge of Imperial tactics proving invaluable. The thrill of evasion brought them closer together, though neither spoke of it directly. One evening, as they drifted near the outer rim of a nebula, Lysera looked out the viewport at the swirling colors of gas and light. Marcus sat beside her, quietly observing. "I never thought I'd leave my home like this," Lysera said softly, "and yet, I feel more alive than ever." Marcus glanced at her, seeing the sincerity in her eyes. "Sometimes the greatest courage is choosing your own path," he said. "Not the one others expect of you." Their hands brushed, then intertwined. Neither pulled away. The galaxy outside was vast and uncertain, but in that moment they had found something rare. Connection, trust, and the first spark of love. Suddenly, an alert sounded. A fleet of Viridian warships had detected them. The princess and the human soldier were no longer just fugitives, they were the most wanted pair in the galaxy. Marcus swore under his breath, his mind racing through evasive maneuvers. Lysera, though frightened, remained calm, relying on her instincts and training. Together they executed daring maneuvers, diving into the swirling gases of the nebula to mask their escape. The ships of the Empire pursued relentlessly, but Marcus's tactics and Lysera's intimate knowledge of Imperial fleet protocols kept them just out of reach. For hours they raced through space, each movement testing their nerves, skill, and trust in one another. As the pursuit waned, Marcus allowed himself a small smile. "We did it. For now." Lysera exhaled, her relief mingled with exhilaration. She turned to Marcus, her expression serious yet vulnerable. "I don't know what will happen next. The galaxy won't just let us exist quietly. But I don't regret leaving. Not with you." Marcus met her gaze, feeling a warmth in his chest. "Neither do I. Whatever comes, we face it together." For the first time, Lysera felt the weight of expectation lift. The life she had known, the constraints, the rules, the constant scrutiny was gone, replaced by something terrifying and beautiful: freedom and the chance to choose her own destiny. And for Marcus, who had always believed humans were underestimated, Lysera's trust and partnership reminded him of the strength and resilience of his kind. As they drifted farther from the Viridian capital, the stars stretching infinitely before them, a quiet sense of possibility filled the cabin of the starship. They were fugitives, yes, but they were also pioneers of their own story, carving a path where love and courage defied expectation. The galaxy would talk of their flight, their bond, and perhaps one day their legend, and so, the princess who had once been bound by duty and the human soldier who had been underestimated by the universe began a journey together, not just to survive, but to define their place in the stars, one daring choice at a time. The distant hum of the starship was the only sound as they stared out at the endless void. Their hearts beat in quiet synchronization, and for the first time both of them felt truly alive. Lysera and Marcus drifted through uncharted space aboard their stolen starship, the vast expanse stretching endlessly before them. The galaxy was alive with rumors. Traders whispered in shadowy corridors, news networks speculated on every system, and even distant rebel outposts discussed the impossible alliance, a Viridian princess fleeing with a human soldier. Their names became a spark, igniting awe, envy, and curiosity in equal measure. At first, the attention didn't reach them. They were too focused on survival, avoiding patrols, scavenging supplies, and repairing their starship after the narrow escape from the Imperial fleet. Marcus marveled at Lysera's knowledge of star charts and military maneuvers, while she appreciated his practical resourcefulness and calm under pressure. In the quiet moments between plotting courses and evading danger, they shared stories, dreams, and laughter. "Do you think anyone will believe this story?" Lysera asked one night, her eyes reflecting the nebula's colors outside the viewport. Marcus shrugged, a smile tugging at the corners of his lips. Some will doubt it. But one thing's for sure, no one will forget it. The truth was they were becoming legends in their own time. Across star systems, people speculated, why would a princess betray her family? How had a human managed to evade the Empire? The galaxy had always assumed Viridians were untouchable, untamed by emotion, but Lysera and Marcus proved otherwise. Their love challenged centuries of expectation. Their first major challenge came when they approached a trading hub on a distant asteroid colony. They needed fuel, supplies, and information about Imperial movements. Landing discreetly was risky. The colony was known for its intelligence networks and connections to the Viridian Empire. Lysera took the lead. She spoke with the traders in the colony's central bazaar, her natural charm and royal presence masking the fact that she was now a fugitive. Marcus stayed close, observing, ready to intervene if suspicion arose. "Do you have a clean refueling station?" Lysera asked, her voice calm, measured. The trader, a wiry alien with multicolored eyes, glanced at Marcus before meeting Lysera's gaze. "Maybe. Depends on who's asking." Lysera smiled faintly. "Travelers seeking only safety and a quiet passage. Nothing more." Marcus watched as her tone softened and her words carried a warmth that disarmed the trader. Within minutes, they secured fuel, rations, and even a temporary hiding spot in one of the asteroid's caves. As they settled in, Marcus leaned against the ship, letting the stillness wash over him. "You make this look easy," he said. Lysera laughed softly. "Experience and observation, and perhaps luck." Marcus shook his head. "I think it's more than that. You have courage and conviction. Not just anyone could handle being hunted across the galaxy." Lysera looked at him, a mixture of admiration and something deeper shining in her eyes. "Neither could you," she said quietly. In the days that followed, they planned their next moves. They had become skilled at reading the stars, predicting Imperial patrol patterns, and even turning their pursuers' assumptions against them. Marcus taught Lysera some human tactics like improvisation and creative problem-solving, which complemented her strategic knowledge perfectly. Their bond deepened as they shared quiet nights watching distant star clusters, navigating by instinct and instinct alone. For Lysera, Marcus represented a freedom she had never known, a life unbound by expectation. For Marcus, Lysera represented intelligence, grace, and courage beyond any human experience. They began to understand that survival wasn't the only goal. They were building something greater, a life together against all odds. Then came the first direct threat. A Viridian frigate tracked them to the asteroid colony. They had been careful, but the Empire had eyes everywhere. Marcus spotted the incoming ships first. "They're here," he said calmly. "We need to move." Lysera's pulse quickened, but she did not panic. "We can't fight them head-on. Too many of them. We'll need a distraction." Marcus nodded, quickly scanning the asteroid field. "I have an idea. Trust me?" She nodded. Trust had become second nature between them. Using the terrain of the asteroid field, Marcus maneuvered the starship in a daring sequence, weaving between rocks and debris. Lysera provided real-time updates, identifying patrol patterns and blind spots. Together, they executed a maneuver that threw the Imperial ships off course. Some crashed into asteroids, others pursued phantom signals, giving the pair just enough time to escape. When the immediate danger passed, Lysera exhaled, feeling the adrenaline fade. Marcus placed a hand over hers. "We're good," he said. "For now." Lysera turned to him, eyes softening. "For now. But we can't hide forever. The galaxy is talking. We need a plan." Marcus nodded thoughtfully. "We could make our own path. Instead of hiding, we use the story. If people see us together, maybe it'll inspire. Maybe it'll change things." Lysera considered this. "You mean, make ourselves known? Across the galaxy?" "Yes," Marcus said. "Show them that love and courage aren't limited by species or rank. That choice matters more than expectation." It was a bold idea. The risks were enormous, but Lysera felt a thrill she had never known. "Then we do it," she said, determination shining in her eyes. They set course for a neutral broadcasting station orbiting a distant star. The station was known for its impartiality and reach across multiple systems. Marcus piloted the ship while Lysera prepared her message. When they arrived, they broadcast a simple message: their story, their escape, and their choice to stand together against the constraints of expectation. The broadcast rippled through the galaxy. Traders, outlaws, diplomats, and scholars alike stopped to listen. The princess and the human soldier, fugitives and lovers, became symbols of courage and defiance. The reactions were immediate. Some called them heroes, others scolds, but no one could ignore them. News channels debated endlessly. Governments issued orders, and ordinary beings across the stars whispered their names. Lysera and Marcus had ignited a fire, and there was no putting it out. Yet the attention brought new dangers. Imperial fleets intensified their pursuit. Bounty hunters hunted them relentlessly, and rival factions sought to use them as leverage. But the pair adapted, learning to combine Lysera's strategic genius with Marcus's improvisational tactics. Each encounter tested their trust, their courage, and their ingenuity. Despite the constant threats, moments of normalcy persisted. They found quiet planets to explore, sometimes small villages or abandoned colonies, places where they could simply exist without fear. During these moments, Lysera and Marcus allowed themselves to be vulnerable. They shared dreams of the future, of building a life not dictated by duty or war but by choice and love. One evening, on a planet bathed in the warm glow of twin moons, they walked along a crystalline lake. Lysera paused, looking out at the water reflecting the stars. "I never thought I'd find this," she said softly. "A life where I'm more than a princess. A life where I'm me." Marcus took her hand. "And I never thought I'd find someone like you. You've changed me, Lysera. You've shown me what courage and heart can do." They stood together in silence, letting the serenity of the moment wash over them. But even in that quiet, the galaxy waited, watching, speculating, and preparing to respond to their defiance. The climax came when a massive Imperial fleet finally caught up with them near a dense star cluster. Lysera and Marcus had anticipated such a move. Using a combination of their own skills and alliances they had quietly formed with sympathetic alien races, they orchestrated a daring escape. They led the fleet through a maze of gravitational anomalies and unstable asteroid fields. Some ships were lost to miscalculations, others fled in confusion, and Lysera and Marcus emerged victorious. Their survival was celebrated across the galaxy. They became legends, not because of royal lineage or military power, but because of their courage, their ingenuity, and their unwavering bond. The story of the alien princess and the human soldier spread like wildfire. In every system, beings spoke of their daring escape, their defiance of expectation, and the love that had carried them through impossible odds. Lysera and Marcus finally settled on a lush, uncharted planet, far from the immediate reach of the Empire. It was a place of beauty and danger, where they could live freely, surrounded by the wonders of the galaxy. They built a small home, cultivated the land, and continued to explore, always together, always learning from one another. And though the galaxy continued to talk, speculate, and debate, Lysera and Marcus no longer worried. They had each other, their love, and the knowledge that they had chosen their own destiny. The princess who had once been bound by duty and the human soldier who had been underestimated had rewritten the rules, not for themselves alone, but for everyone who would hear their story. As they stood together, watching the twin suns set over the horizon of their new world, Lysera rested her head on Marcus's shoulder. "We did it," she whispered. "Yes," he replied, holding her close. "And this is only the beginning. The galaxy would remember them. It would speak of their courage, their love, and the daring choice to defy expectation. They were no longer fugitives. They were symbols of hope, freedom, and the extraordinary power of human and alien hearts working together. Above them, stars stretched infinitely, a reminder that in the vastness of the galaxy, there was always space for love, for courage, and for stories that could change everything. And Lysera and